You came to us as outlaws. You came alone, in chains. All that is in the past. Here, on the wall, we are all one house.
I am the sword in the darkness. I am the watcher on the walls. I shall wear no crowns and win no glory. Now my watch begins. It shall not end until my death. I pledge my life and honor for this night and all the nights to come. Now my watch begins. For this night and all the nights to come. Now my watch begins.
The Night's Watch is the only thing standing between the realm and what lies beyond. Winter is coming.
My queen, about to serve you, obey you. I know what you intend. Do not.
I must. I see the faces of slaves. I free you. Take off your collars. No one will stop you. But if you stay, it will be as brothers and sisters, as husbands and wives. I am the dragon's daughter, and I swear to you that those who would harm you will die screaming. I am the dragon's daughter. You shall have a golden crown, men shall tremble to behold. And I swear to you, I am the dragon's daughter.
When winter does come, gods help us all if we're not ready.
Our best hope, our only hope, is that you can defeat them in the field. If you lose, your sisters die, your father dies. Our best hope, our only hope, is that you can defeat them in the field.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. There is no middle ground.
There is only one God, and his name is death.
And there is only one thing we say to death: not today.
You help me win the Iron Throne. We were meant to rule together, but now winter is coming. We must protect ourselves.
Don't ask me to stand aside as you climb on that pyre. I will watch you burn.
You don't understand. I am the dragon's daughter, and I swear to you that those who would harm you will die screaming. I am the dragon's daughter. You shall have a golden crown, men shall tremble to behold. And I swear to you, I am the dragon's daughter.
What's going on, guys? We are back again with another reaction. You know who it is, Thereby Reacts here. And today I told you guys in my last Game of Thrones video that I was gonna take a day off before I start season 2. Didn't really want to. I wanted to jump right in, but I had some stuff I had to take care of today, so I didn't want to have to record and edit it, you know, because it takes a lot of time out of my day, and I had some stuff I had to deal with today. So but I'm here now. I told you guys that I was gonna do this video that somebody suggested. It's about the Mad King. It's like the it's about Aerys Targaryen, the Mad King, and let's see what it's all about. I don't know what it's all about. I asked the guy if there would be spoilers in it, and he told me no, there's no spoilers. It's just basically the history of the Mad King, because I wanted to know more about the Targaryens, because there's such an interesting house, as in, you know, from how people has talked about it in the series. They talk about them like the other houses, like the Baratheons, the Starks, everybody that talks about the Targaryens, they talk about them like they're just this evil, a bunch of evil people. And then I realized that no, they're not all evil, because you got Daenerys, now we've met Aemon, so it's crazy how the development of the characters. Now I'm gonna learn about the Mad King, about why, you know what I'm saying, like hopefully they kind of explain like why he was called the Mad King, other than the fact that he burned people alive. Like I want to know if it was a mental thing, like confirmed. Like a lot of people said, there's definitely something that was really wrong with him, to the way he was acting. Somebody said he was definitely schizo. So it's like, so let's jump into this, see what it's all about. So this is my video for today. I might do a couple more things about like the history, because I'm enjoying the lore behind Game of Thrones right now. So let's just jump into this and see what they have to offer.
Aerys Targaryen was the last of his name to sit on the Iron Throne. Known far and wide as the Mad King, his was a reign of instability and terror. The Seven Kingdoms are well rid of him and his kind. Oh, he may have appeared to be a capable ruler at first, but that was due in no small part to his counselors, led by the hand of the king, Tywin Lannister. There may have been years of peace and prosperity during Aerys' reign, but it was Tywin who was really running the country as Aerys spiraled further and further into insanity. The dragon spawn were famous for losing their minds. It was the price they paid for centuries of keeping the bloodlines pure. And Aerys more than happily continued.
Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting, because I know that there's incest in this show. It's obvious, because back in the day, incest was a huge thing, and it's kind of being dredged up today a lot these days, to be honest. Even nowadays, there's a lot of incest going on, so it's weird. You get what I'm saying? But it explains a lot when they say that most of them actually do lose their mind because they try to keep the bloodline pure by having brothers and sisters have sex and stuff like that to keep the bloodline pure. And I would tell you guys this: don't do it. Incest is not, it's not something to mess around with. You can end up with deformed children and stuff like that. It's a DNA thing, and that's why, you know, incest is so it's looked down upon, because, you know what I'm saying, because it's just that people with the same DNA, or have the same dad or the same mom, it's not recommended for them to copulate, because it's just not it's nasty. Okay, it's just nasty. So let me stop trying to be all super intelligent and it's just nasty. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not something that you do, and I can understand why it would drive them mad. You get what I'm saying? Like, with the bloodline coming down of who started it and coming down, like, you can understand why, because it creates deformities, regardless of if it's a mental issue or it's a physical deform. It's the same. You know what I'm saying? It's just this crazy. The child can be born with disabilities and stuff like that. So it's just a weird thing, man. It's nasty. Okay, don't do it.
The noble sister fucking tradition of his forefathers. As the years passed, Aerys' behavior became increasingly erratic. He cut himself so often on his Iron Throne, many referred to him as King Scab, though never to his face.
King Scab.
It was rumored he had developed an obsession with wildfire, and was known to inflict horrific punishments on those he considered enemies, including burning them alive. As his paranoia and bloodlust grew, he had a bitter falling out with Lord Tywin, who had served the crown faithfully for 20 years. At least Tywin was able to leave the job with his life and fortunes intact. Subsequent hands of King Aerys weren't so fortunate. Then the Targaryens went too far. The Crown Prince Rhaegar abducted Lyanna Stark, daughter of Rickard Stark, the Lord of Winterfell. She was my betrothed. She was my beloved.
It is Robert.
Beautiful and spirited woman, and I loved her more than life itself. Rhaegar went south with Lyanna, hiding her away in Dorne. What harm he inflicted on the poor girl, the gods only know. Brandon Stark, Lyanna's eldest brother, was outraged. He rode to King's Landing to confront the king and demand his sister's safe return. Instead, Aerys had him executed, his father, Rickard Stark, as well. There wasn't much left to discuss after that. Aerys feared their loved ones would seek revenge for what he did. He was right to be afraid. Aerys wasted no time in calling for the heads of Brandon's younger brother, my friend Eddard Stark. And my head too, of course. I'm sorry he didn't come looking for it himself. Alongside Jon Arryn of the Vale, the man who fostered Ned and I as children, Baratheons, Starks, and Tullys all called their banners. Once our rebellion began, the Mad King's days were numbered.
As word of King Aerys' erratic and troubling behavior spread throughout the Seven Kingdoms, Lord Rickard Stark continued to serve his king faithfully as Warden of the North. The proud father of 4 children, his daughter Lyanna, was engaged to Robert Baratheon, the young lord of Storm's End. Centuries of peace between the North and the Iron Throne ended the day Rhaegar Targaryen, Prince of Dragonstone, abducted Lyanna. Enraged, Brandon Stark rode to King's Landing, demanding the release of his sister and the death of Rhaegar. Aerys arrested him for treason and called his father to come to the capital to ransom him. When Lord Rickard complied, Aerys, now utterly mad, arrested him for treason as well. Lord Rickard demanded a trial by combat. Aerys declared fire the champion of House Targaryen and had Lord Rickard suspended from the rafters of the throne room while pyromancers lit a blaze beneath him. As he burned, Brandon was brought into the throne room. A leather cord attached to a strangulation device was wrapped around his neck. Aerys told Brandon his father was a dead man, but there was a chance to save him.
How?
A longsword was placed on the floor just out of Brandon's reach, and the more he struggled to reach it, the more the cord tightened around his throat. Brandon Stark strangled himself, trying to free his father, who was roasted alive in his own armor.
Oh my God.
The entire court stood and watched this atrocity take place. Sir Jaime Lannister and the Kingsguard among them. The Mad King was reported to have laughed hysterically as these 2 noble men were tortured and brutally killed before him.
Oh my God. Yo,
Seeking to rid the world of all his supposed enemies, Aerys called for the head of Rickard's younger son, Eddard Stark, and Lyanna's betrothed, Robert Baratheon. He sent word to Lord Jon Arryn, who had fostered both young men at the Eyrie, to apprehend them. Instead, Lord Arryn joined houses Stark and Baratheon in rebellion. Robert vowed to kill Rhaegar Targaryen and get his beloved Lyanna back.
As Aerys Targaryen's behavior grew more and more erratic, the task of ruling the Seven Kingdoms fell to me, Tywin Lannister. I had served Aerys for nearly 20 years, and as a result, the realm had prospered. The royal coffers were full, the land was at peace. But Aerys grew increasingly hostile, jealous of the success many credited to me. My power and influence unnerved him. The captain of my personal guard, Sir Elyn Payne, was once overheard making offhand comments regarding who was the true ruler of Westeros. When the king was given this information, he had Ilyn Payne's tongue ripped out with hot pincers.
Oh my god.
It was my desire to unite the houses of Lannister and Targaryen through marriage. My daughter Cersei would marry Aerys' eldest son, Prince Rhaegar. Such a union made perfect sense for all parties. However, Aerys' senses had begun to leave him quite some time earlier. Instead of uniting the royal family with its most loyal and powerful ally, Aerys chose instead to insult my family, indicating that such a match was beneath Rhaegar. Instead, he chose Elia Martell of Dorne to be Rhaegar's wife. As if to rub salt in my wounds, Aerys appointed Jaime, my son, to the King's Guard. The King's Guard may be an honor for lesser families than ours, but it is a lifetime appointment that forces him to renounce all family holdings. This creates a difficulty in naming an heir to Casterly Rock. But Aerys knew all that. I had grown tired of the King's constant provocation. Thus, I resigned my post as Aerys' hand and returned to Casterly Rock with my considerable forces. When Robert Baratheon rebelled against the throne, Aerys grew fearful that I would join with Robert's forces and rise against him. He thought himself clever and kept Jaime very close, as if warning me. He sunk deeper and deeper into delusion, paranoia, and violence. I've heard it said he became obsessed with wildfire, a substance which, once lit, cannot be extinguished.
Oh,
Convinced he had enemies all around him, he wouldn't allow blades in his presence, save for those of his King's Guard. Alas, that proved to be his undoing.
Big shout out to Witch of the Night. Thank you so much for suggesting that video. Yes, Witch of the Night. Really enjoyed that video. It was only about 9 minutes long. Yeah, it was only about 9 minutes long, so that's crazy though. That is crazy. There's a lot of surprises in there. So basically the reason why the Lannisters didn't fight in Robert's rebellion was because of the Mad King keeping Jaime close. So I guess he didn't I don't know, Tywin didn't exactly confirm if he told Jaime to kill the Mad King, or maybe he just did it because, listen, at this point I'm not gonna say that Jaime was wrong for killing him. I'm not really gonna say, like, he wasn't wrong. He's not wrong. He's not wrong for killing him. He deserved what he got, even though, you know, it was basically a stab in the back. But he deserved it. Like, let's be honest here. Like, he was just a bad Targaryen. Now we're hearing about Rhaegar, which don't have a lot of information on, but we'll see. I guess they'll mention him a lot more in the upcoming seasons, so we'll know who exactly Rhaegar was. Because if he's kidnapping Starks, I mean, he kidnapped Lyanna, but it's still a bit vague, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody knows what happened. Like, nobody really knows what happened. At least we don't know if anybody knows. We just hearing that he kidnapped Lyanna and she's dead now. So in my head, I'm thinking Rhaegar killed her. But why would he kidnap her and then kill her? You know what I'm saying? And and no ransom is because they killed Aerys. Why he killed her, I don't know. I don't want to speculate. But right now we don't really know. I don't really know what's going on with the Rhaegar storyline. So with the Mad King, he was just a terrible guy, man. He was just a terrible guy. I mean, burning the dad, Ned's dad alive, and then bringing in the brother to watch. I mean, bringing in the son to watch the father die, put a sword in front of him with a thing tied around his neck, and while he's trying to reach the sword, he strangled himself to death. I mean, that is some crazy like sociopath. I mean, come on, man. But as I said in the beginning, now I kind of understand, because I didn't know that the Targaryens were doing that. I thought that was just a Jaime and Cersei thing in the series, but obviously it's something that they've been doing to keep the bloodlines pure with the Targaryens. Hopefully Daenerys is not a product of incest. Hopefully she's not. You know, hopefully her mom and dad wasn't, you know, brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully that's not the case. Because I don't want to see her spiral out of control, because she's up there right now. It's Jon as number 1 for me, and then we have what's her name, Daenerys. Okay, so I am gonna do another video talking about my favorite characters. I'm doing all those videos today, so look out for that. But this was one that I felt like I had to do first, and I hope you watch the whole thing. 20 minutes, whatever. You guys know I'm long-winded. Okay, so my opinion on this whole thing is basically that Game of Thrones is awesome, and I'm gonna jump into season 2 tomorrow, so look out for that video. Okay, so remember guys, if you love this video, man, leave a like on the video. Remember to subscribe if you're new, and also leave a like on the channel. Okay, leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what you think of this Mad King. And also, this has been Terabyte Reacts, man, and peace. Look out for the next one.